How come if someone asks you if you want kids and you say no, you get like interrogated?
There's a lot of us out there who've decided not to procreate.
Man, you'd love it. No, I'd love to binge on Netflix and booze until I'm cross-eyed and covered in Doritos at 3 a.m.
I live a pretty carefree, kind of introverted life. I'm not ready for that type of link.
Childless men. A lot of people think they're little to non-existent, but they actually exist and they're out here. And it was kind of hard finding videos where men were actually talking about being child-free, because a lot of them, they end up commenting on other videos, but no one actually comes out and talks about it. Full disclaimer, this video is not to sway you in one way or the other. If you are a father, comment down below the beauties of being a father. And if you are a child-free man, I would definitely love to see your comment down below telling us why you aren't a father, as well as fathers letting us know why you decided to be a father, like I have done with all my other videos. I am interested in those that are and those that aren't, and the reasons for both, not just one particular group. Let's get into these. These are TikTok compilations, as well as two guys that I found on YouTube talking about this, and I believe they are for like full-time YouTubers, if not part-time, doesn't really matter. And I will have their links to the videos down below. Let's get into it.
10 reasons why I decided to live a child-free life. I want to let other child-free people know you're not alone. There's a lot of us out there who've decided not to procreate. For people who might be trying to decide if they want to have kids or not, I'm going to give you 10 reasons why you shouldn't have them. Do what you want with those. And finally, for people who already have kids, these are some reasons to put them up for adoption. I'm joking. You had the fun making them babies. Now you got to raise them. Reason number one why I'm living a child-free life and don't want to have kids is because they're expensive. They are expensive. All the people I know who got kids is always complaining about being broke because of the kids. Kids are expensive. And it's not like you only have to like pay out money for 3-4 years. It's like 18 years. And then some. Even when they grown, they want money. It's just, you know, it starts out with diapers and Pampers and it's school clothes, and then it's the dentist, and then it's soccer jerseys, and it just keeps going and going and going and going. It never seems to stop. I work hard for my money. Especially times like now when I'm physically in hotel rooms, scrubbing toilets, making beds. I'll work too hard for that money to give it to some kid. No. And then if you factor in child support, if it goes wrong between me and my partner, we don't stay together, we separate, it's 99.999% probability I'm going to be the one paying the child support. And that's like government mandated. I don't need the government mandating a certain part of my check, you know, disappears every week. They already do that with taxes. I don't need that. You know what I mean? And so when I just think about the money I would lose raising a child, not for me.
Bro, you know what has never made sense to me? How come if someone asks you if you want kids and you say no, you get like interrogated? They're like, what? Why? Why wouldn't you want kids? But if you say you do want kids, they don't question you. Shouldn't it be the other way around? It's like, why don't you want kids? Because they're annoying. It's a lot of responsibility. They cost a lot of money. It's like the list goes on. It's obvious why you wouldn't want kids. We should question why you would want kids. Like if they're like, do you want kids when you get married? And I'm like, I don't know. They're like, what? Why? What's wrong? I'm like, well, why do you want them? And they're like, why do I? They're bundles of joy. They bring so much meaning to life. I'm like, do they? Do they though, or do you just feel like you have to do that? Because most parents I know are absolutely miserable and they age 10 years in a matter of 2. So I think we should reverse the old why on that question.
Reason number 2, I've decided to live a child-free life. It's a lifelong obligation. I don't do well with responsibility. Okay. Anybody who knows me knows that I like a very carefree, low drama, low obligation life. To bring into my life a lifelong obligation, I just know I wouldn't do well with that. Even if I would like, if I ever had a child, I would do what I had to do. You know what I mean? I would not be a deadbeat dad. I would take on that obligation, but I would be crying on the inside, probably the outside. I just don't do well lifelong obligations. I'm definitely not going to like bring one into my life that can't go away, that I can't quit.
Number 1, I've never felt like there should be more of me in the world. I love my marriage, and I don't want to give that up. I don't know anything, and I'm not ready to teach the children. Number 4, I have a cat. Kids hold us back. Which brings me to number 6, I don't think there should be children anymore. People aren't great. So I explain all this to my wife. She says, I know all of that, and I think you'd be a good dad.
Third reason I don't have kids, and this goes along with the second one, it's just added stress. It is added stress. Another thing I hear from parents is that you constantly worry that your child is okay. They go to school, you worry somebody's gonna shoot up the school. You know what I mean? They go, wherever they go, they're these days, you got to worry about something happening. My stress levels are right. You know what I mean? Where they need to be. They're good now. And I do things like meditate. I'm always out in nature, try to hold those stress levels down. I'm not going to bring a child into this world and raise it way up here. I don't know if I could deal with that. And let's be honest, if I had a child and something did happen to them, I'm not strong enough to deal with that. You know what I mean? Think what you think about me. I'm telling you, if I had a child and I developed that bond, that love, if it's as strong as parents say, and something happened to that child, they got sick, they got really hurt, they died, whatever, I'm not strong enough. Too much stress. I'm good where I'm at.
So when are you guys having kids? Whenever you're ready to babysit 7 days a week. Come on, don't you want to bring a little mini you into the world? I can't take care of regular-sized me. I got married just so I'd have supervision. But kids are so rewarding. So are pizza rolls. Man, you'd love it. No, I'd love to binge on Netflix and booze until I'm cross-eyed and covered in Doritos at 3 a.m. Are you okay? No. God, no. Any more questions?
Reason number 4. Kids are a joint venture. You know what I mean? So in order to have a kid, there got to be 2 people. That was 4. 2 people. You can do that too this day and age if you want to. I'm sure. 2 people. I haven't met somebody that I wanted to have kids with. Any of the women that I've met that were like, might have been like decent for mothers, they wasn't trying to have kids either. You know what I'm saying? And that is not a slight on women. I'm definitely not on that. There's no good women bandwagon out there. I'm just saying that, like, I haven't met someone who I just looked at and was like, we could have kids. And she was like, oh yeah, he's good for, you know what I mean? A lot of women probably look at me like, he'd be a horrible dad. You know what I mean? It's a joint venture. I've just never been in a situation where it clicked and both of us were just like, wanted to stay together long enough to have a kid. And we both thought we would be good parents. You know, it just never, it takes 2 to tango. I ain't found nobody I really want to tango with like that.
You should not be having kids if you can't afford them. So the average cost of daycare now per month is basically another mortgage payment? Yeah, I can't afford that. Oh my gosh, you don't want kids? That's so selfish of you. What will your parents think? What will your family think? But you just said don't have them if you can't afford them. And I can't afford 2 mortgages, plus all the other accompanying costs. That's so selfish of you.
Number 5. I probably wouldn't be a good parent. 5th reason. I don't want to have kids. I'll be honest. I probably would not be a good parent because I'd probably be one of those pissed off all the time parents because of some of the reasons we already talked about. I'm broke. I'm stressed. I got to feed these kids every day, 3-4 times a day. They keep eating my food. I'm in here trying to watch the WNBA game. They keep running in, running back and forth, asking me questions. I don't know. Google it. Ask ChatGPT, daddy watching the game. I would try. Like, y'all know I would try. And like I keep saying, if I ever, somehow slipped up, if ever I had kids by accident or the Lord sent me one like he did Mary, I would do my best to be a good parent. I probably wouldn't be good at, like, I don't know nothing about kids. Like, I'm in my 40s. It's too late. I don't know nothing about kids. I guess no parents ever do. Like, I just don't even have, I got a friend who just had a baby. She's an excellent mother. I can just tell. I hung out with her. She is an excellent mother. She naturally had that. Great parent. I can just tell. You know what I mean? If we're on the phone, baby start crying. She's like, I gotta go. My baby's crying. I gotta handle my excellent parent. If I'm on the phone, the baby start crying, I'm gonna go sit in the car, keep talking. Okay? Like, I ain't got no, that diaper will wait. If you don't want to sit in it, you shouldn't have pooped in it. Okay. Number 6.
So that was just a compilation of TikToks, and we're still going to get into more of this, but that was actually Timothy Ward. I just stumbled upon his YouTube, and I was looking for child-free men because there's not a lot out there, but I was lucky enough to find at least him, as well as one other. His name is Adrian Logan, that we'll get into as well. Like he said himself, a lot of parents don't know how to be parents, and it's just the first time they're parenting, so they just figure it out. Some people know that it's going to be a challenge and there's room for growth, and they figure it out, and then some people decide they don't want to have kids, so they don't want to figure it out. That was just 5 points that he put out there. I will link the full video down in the description if you are interested in the rest of his 5.
Right, the fact that some people choose to have kids is beyond me, bruv. Just get a dog, do you know what I mean? They're much cuter and far less annoying. Anyways, number 1, we've got money, yeah? Now tell me why every single kid on this planet thinks adults, yeah, are a walking bank, bruv. Better asking, can you point buy me this? Can you buy me sweets? Can you do that? Bruv, does it look like I have Lloyd's TSB written on my forehead? No, it doesn't. If you want this thing that bad, go get a job. I don't care that you're not old enough. Get creative, bruv. Number 2, they're just bare annoying, innit? Like, snotty and that. Just wipe your nose, bruv. Number 3, I can barely look after myself, bruv. Yeah, at my big age, I still don't know how an oven works. I just press the bloody buttons and hope for the best. Yeah, I just about feed myself for sake. So me, as a dad, being responsible for a whole, like, living human, that's just a recipe for disaster, innit, mate? Before baby voices, I can't be arsed, yeah, I'm not cut out for them. You know how parents go, ooh, he's so cute. All bruv, just speak to your kid like a human. It's a human. It's just a little human.
If you speak normally to your child, it helps with their development. So I've read. Correct me if I am wrong. Next up, we have Adrian Logan. We're gonna see why he does not want to be a dad. Let's get into it.
I don't want children. And for the majority of my adult life, the past 6 or 7 years, I'm 30 now, I've been pretty confident that I don't want children. But what I haven't been confident about is answering why I don't want children. I think I figured it out. I think the reason I don't want children, I'm not certain that I could recommend this life. Don't get me wrong, I love life. I have a lot to be grateful for. I'm super privileged when we're talking about like the world's population. I'm not sure that I can recommend life to a consciousness that otherwise wouldn't experience it. And I'm not sure why. I guess on one side, it's asking myself, is all the positives of life experience worth all the negatives and the struggles and the uncertainties? And in particular right now, I'm not I'm not overly optimistic about the next 50 years of humanity. There's so many things that I'm aware of that are kind of impending, and I just don't know if I want to bring someone into this life at this point. I mean, life is already complex. Through technology and our advancements and our globalization and all that stuff, life has become infinitely more complex, to the point where it's become challenging to enjoy these simple things in life, because it requires so much work and so much effort in order to raise a family and take care of a family and have housing and get to the point where your finances and your circumstance doesn't really burden your experience of life. You know, once upon a time, in a 5-person family, one person could work a regular 40-hour-a-week job, and food's taken care of, the accommodations, the housing is taken care of, and you can focus on, the simple joys of life, things that bring you, joy. And don't get me wrong, I'm in that situation right now. I make enough, but just the fact that I don't think civilization is getting better with technology. Sure, things are getting faster. We're able to accomplish more in less time, but then there just becomes more things that we want to accomplish. I don't really know what the end game is. And I just don't know if I want to introduce a life to this. I mean, it's kind of like, I might go see a movie, right? And the movie's a 7 out of 10. I enjoyed it, but would I go out and tell another person to watch that movie? Would I recommend that movie to somebody else if it's a 7 out of 10? Probably not. If the movie isn't fantastic, I'm not recommending it. So it's like, yeah, life has a lot of great things, but would I recommend it to someone who hasn't experienced it? Someone like a consciousness? Would I be willing to bring a life into this world, knowing that there's all these challenges? I mean, we have 24 hours in a day, 8 hours sleeping, 8 hours working, then you got 8 hours left. And of that 8 hours, there's using the washroom and brushing your teeth and preparing meals and cleaning up after meals and getting to and from places. So you really only have a few quality hours per day to truly do whatever you want. I can think of a lot of cons for having children. The same things that you could think about, like, you have less time, you have less freedom, more responsibility, less time to focus on your desires and the things that fulfill you. And I guess one could argue that having children is a form of fulfillment in of itself. Being able to teach and share and kind of groom and watch a life grow. The benefits of that doesn't really appeal to me any more than sharing my life experience with my niece or nephew would appeal to me. So I don't know. I just don't know if I recommend it. And this is not me talking from a depressive state of mind. This is me just being normal and just kind of sharing my thoughts. There's a lot going on in the world. And I guess there always is. But I'm not so sure I'm happy with the way life is going. And if I was to bring a life into this world, it's almost as if I'm advocating for the experience. And I'm not sure that I am. I'm not sure that I do. If we had the ability to communicate with some other life form in another universe, something like that, through that communication, they were able to ask, hey, do you recommend this experience? Would I say yes? I don't know. I don't know. If life was a simulation, would I recommend it to other people? See, here's the thing. It's not that I don't recommend it outright. The problem is I don't know if I do recommend it, right? So it's not so much as me saying life sucks, don't do it. It's like, no, life's pretty good. There's a lot of great things about it. But is there enough for me to recommend it and say absolutely do it? Because I can't see myself having a child unless I absolutely want to have a child. You know, if you ask me, I would tell people you probably shouldn't have a child unless you're absolutely certain that you want one, because it's such a responsibility and it's such a drain. You have to contribute so much into that activity that if you aren't prepared for it in the sense of knowing that you want to do it and you're up for that challenge, you probably shouldn't, because you might regret it. And I know people say, oh, you don't regret having children, and just after a few years of like struggle, you get used to it. I don't expect anyone who has a child to tell somebody else that they regret having a child in person, because there's a lot of shame that comes with that, and you've already had the child, so you can't go back. But there's a lot of anonymous forums online, like on Reddit. There's a Reddit called Regretful Parents, and of course it's biased because everyone on there is coming there because they have an experience through parenthood that caused them to regret having a child. But it gives you a glimpse into a perspective that is very, very often not spoken about. The idea that having a child, you can go through the process and come out the other side and actually not be happy with the outcome. Like, you don't hear about that very often.
And that again was Adrian Logan. Now that was not his full video. I will also have his video linked down below if you're interested in watching it in its entirety. The beauty about men is that the only thing that would have them stopping the clock to have a kid is death. So a man can have a kid at 40, at 50, at 60, at 70 if they wanted to. And women, we're only given a limited time to where we want to think about if we want to have a kid or not. But this video is not about women. This is all about men. If you guys have your comments or your concerns or whatever the case may be, I hope that you guys comment down below. Fathers as well as child-free men. Comment down below. Let me know what you guys think of this video, and I'll see you guys on the next one.